Hi there, beautiful souls. Today I'm going to do a love reading. Let's read about romance. It's a little early, in the year for it. Usually people do them in February, but I'm going to do this now. And it's going to apply to you whenever you see it in your life. So because people don't just have romantic lives 1 month of the year in February. They have them all year long. So let's have a look and find out if you have any questions about your romantic life. You can choose from one of the piles, pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, or pile number 4. And if you want, you can think about a specific person that you have in mind when you're making this choice. And if you don't have a specific person in mind, you can just ask about your romantic life in general. And just remember that these cards are just a guide. They don't make all the decisions for you. You still have your own free will choices and should always make your own decisions. So let's get started. You can go ahead and pause the video if you haven't chosen which pile you're drawn to yet. So let's first of all go to pile number 1. So for pile number 1, the first thing we see here is the Keep Charging Ahead card. So the Keep Charging Ahead card talks about not taking no for an answer and expecting miraculous solutions to appear. So if you're thinking about, should I just give up on this relationship? Should I give up on the idea of this person? Then it's telling you no, keep charging ahead. I mean, not in a sense, not in a stalker way or a pushy way, for wanting somebody to pay attention to you when they don't want to. But when it comes to, there is a relationship, there's a possibility of a relationship, and you're not sure if you should, keep your hopes up. This is telling you, yeah, okay, you can keep your hopes up and expect miraculous solutions to appear. So if you feel like there's something standing in the way of the two of you having a relationship, then it's telling you that solutions will appear for you. Now, the second card is the sign from above card. This means that you're literally going to get a sign from above. So this is spirit, like your guides or your angels, letting you know, could even be this reading, that you've chosen this deck. It's this pile. So it's, it could be the sign that you're waiting for. So you'll get a sign, and you can see she's holding a rose up in the air, a pink rose. So maybe pink roses are significant to you, or maybe it's just whatever you consider a sign. For some people, how they see a dime and they feel like it's from their loved one. Well, in this case, it would be something, whatever is significant to you and what you would see. And it would show you that, yes, this is meant to be type of thing. Or maybe it's going to show you a sign and tell you it's not meant to be. But in this case, when we look at the other card, it looks like it is a positive for whoever that you asked about. Now, when we look at the next card, pile number 1, this is the 5 of Gabriel. And again, it talks about something to resolve. It says a challenge you can resolve. Withdraw from the drama of others. Have patience with yourself and those around you. So this is about having patience, waiting for those solutions, and, working things out. So it is something that you can resolve. So if you're in a relationship that you're having some difficulties in, just know that this is letting you know that these challenges can be resolved through patience. Then we have the Angel of Balance card. So the Angel of Balance, that's a pretty obvious card, and it's talking about keeping things in balance. So something is out of balance in the relationship, and that's what you're looking to resolve. So maybe one person is spending, too much time at work and not enough time paying attention to the relationship, or maybe, they're preoccupied with certain hobbies and they're not devoting the time and attention to the relationship. That type of thing. So this is the Angel of Balance card, and it's talking about balance, which is the challenge that you may possibly be looking to resolve. The Divine Physician in reverse. Now, when I look at this card, I mean, they have a book meaning, but when we look at this card, there's a group of people there and there's healing going on, and it's talking about taking care of yourself, but also taking care of the situation and being able to heal the situation. So it's gone to the point of, that it's unhealthy, like as a relationship. So this is what it's talking about. So it's really important to get these other things in balance, and the option is there to do so. Last but not least, what we have here is this beautiful card. Now, this person is wearing a beautiful, luxurious robe. So it's also the color green. It talks about managing your resources wisely. So that could be, it can represent money. It can represent anything that has value, right? So this talks about extremes in how you give or receive money, time, or emotions, smart business decisions, and seeing things as black or white, or being charitable. So in this case, when we're looking at a love reading and in correlation with the other cards, this talks about, giving, extremes in giving or receiving money, time, or emotions. And in this case, it would be time and emotions. So perhaps one person's not putting their all into the relationship time-wise, and that is something that's out of balance, but it can be solved and healed. So pile number 1, that is your love reading. Let's move on to pile number 2. Pile number 2, let's see what we have for you. Okay. All right. Well, this first card says, have faith and hope, because there is something positive and new on the horizon that you can't see yet. And we've got the You Found It card, which is in reverse. So that could mean that you haven't found it yet. The Epiphany card. So this card is, about joy through spiritual growth and being a light to others, and answers that come through meditation. So it's talking about, there's something that you haven't seen yet, either in this relationship, or maybe there's a new relationship coming that you haven't seen yet, and it is on the way. And right now that you're going to find your joy mainly through, if you found it, through spiritual growth and being a light to others, and answers that come through meditation. And because here we have the Magician in the mirror, and the Magician card is about, it's also about balance, sort of like the other one in a way, but it's got fire in one hand and water in the other. So it's talking about using your resources as well, as the sense that I'm getting, not just from the cards. So understand that I don't just read from the cards. I also look at the cards and get, intuitive pings on what should be said for this reading. So that's what we're looking at with the Magician in the mirror, the ability to create things the way that you want them. So going in through meditation and, tapping into yourself, being that light, and also being able to create the things and the life the way that you want. Now, here we have 2 other cards, the King of Keys. And this card, okay, so this was in reverse. So let's look at this card first. This talks about it being an unwise choice, and that there's a better way that will make you happier. Avoid people who lack integrity or have questionable motives. So again, that looks like having faith and hope, because there's something positive and new on the horizon that you can't see yet. Finding the answer through your own spiritual growth and answers that come through meditation, and creating the life that you want, right? Through your own means, and making sure that, you don't want to be around people who have these questionable motives. As you can see, this guy looks a little tricky here. So the King of Keys, now this represents a man or someone who is a business person. They may work in finance or real estate or something like that. And this is somebody who's focused on their job and their career. And if this card, the position it was in, and with these other cards, this is somebody who's so focused on career that they're not really into the relationship. They're more focused on themselves and financial gains at the moment. So this doesn't seem, and it also seems like somebody who's not available, in the romantic sense. So that's what this represents when we're talking about romance, and the way that the card was positioned. And by looking at this group of people here, not the best group of people, kind of questionable. So these cards would represent pile number 2, and romantic life for pile number 2. So I would say it's telling you, wait, because there's something more positive coming. Don't expect a lot from the person that you asked about, and they're super focused on their career and business and not into romance at the moment at all, at the moment. So that is pile number 2. So let's move on to pile number 3. And what do we have for pile number 3? Well, we've got the Angel of Peace card, which is a beautiful card. So it says, I am the Angel of Peace. I bring you new tranquility and a smoother road ahead. So whatever bumps have been in the road in the romantic relationship that you're talking about, or maybe one that you've come out of, it's telling you that for you specifically, that there is a smoother road ahead. So there is peace coming into your life. Now, there's the forgiveness card. So you're forgiving whatever has been those bumps in the road. You're forgiving. So you could either be, if you're asking about a person, like you're reuniting with a person, you're getting back together, you're solving a relationship. This is about forgiveness on both the part of both people. Or if it is about somebody that has left and you guys aren't together anymore, it could be about forgiveness. So you're forgiving them, you're forgiving yourself, which is really, really important, because we always, when something doesn't work out, we always ask ourselves, what did I do wrong? And we get angry at ourselves for having, experienced that, or maybe trusted someone or something. But sometimes it's best to move on, and sometimes it's best to just forgive and stay together and work things out, because what this says, it's got a very happy ending, things coming full circle, and spiritual growth and insight. So this is the World card. So this is coming full circle. So this seems like a relationship that, is, maybe going through some things, but that it's going to come back together and it's going to work out. So you might have started at a point where everything was going really well, and then things got derailed for a while. And now you're coming full circle. You're getting back to the beginning and why you started this relationship and how it started in the first place, and your reasoning for being together, etc. So now you're able to resolve those situations and get back to the love and the caring connections which you started out with. This is a beautiful card. I mean, it's quite clear, caring connections. So this is a connection with someone who's caring and loving, and that you can trust, that is going to reciprocate the love that you give, right? So I mean, you don't want to be in a relationship if you're not receiving back the love and care that you're giving out. So this is a great card, caring connections. So that looks good. And the Ascent card, this is about, making your way to the pinnacle, like the top of the mountain. You've worked really hard to get there. So in a relationship, it is a lot of work. And so you've worked really hard, to get back to coming full circle, like this card here said, right? And now you're back to the top of the mountain. You're at the top of the mountain. So now this relationship is going to, it's going to work. You've worked together to work it out, to climb that hard climb back to the caring connection that it was meant to be. Beautiful. And then this card, Wise Counselor. So, I mean, if you look at just the obvious meaning of the card, it's about getting counseling for a relationship. So good advice, counseling, that sort of thing, working together. And this also talks about, this specific card's meaning is unity with a spiritually minded community, asking the divine for help, trusting the answers will come. Compare traditional methods with new ideas and see which is best for you. So, maybe in this relationship, you might become a part of a community, and you're asking the divine for help, and you're trusting that the answers will come. But they're also talking about, when they say compare traditional methods with new ideas and see which is best for you, I mean, maybe it's talking about traditional way of having a relationship. Maybe it's talking about, a new way of having a relationship. So not all relationships have to look the same. Two people live in the same house, one, however the traditional relationships are set up, the way that we were raised to think they're supposed to be, doesn't always have to be the way that it is. You're two people, two adults who can make a decision about how you both want to live your lives and integrate them together. So These are, some different ideas, different ways of doing things they're talking about, and also about getting counseling to help you to make sure that you stay at the top of the mountain with your caring connection. So that's a really neat reading there for pile number 3. So let's move on to pile number 4. So pile number 4, let's see. Okay. So the first card that we have is this unicorn that says victory. Your desire is coming to fruition. Keep up the good work. Let's see what else is here. Speak your truth. Well, that's always important in any relationship, right? You have to speak your truth and say, what it is you need and what you feel that you want. And that, may be something that you've been working on for a while. That's why the victory card is there. And, release the past. You will grow from this situation and time will heal all wounds. So this is about letting go of something. The 3 of Michael. And let me just check the numbers here. 4. Okay. And the 3 of Michael. So yeah, it's talking about time healing all wounds. Now, look at this. The 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel being connected with communication, of course, and this referring to the 5th chakra, which is the throat chakra, associated with the color blue. And that is about speaking your truth once again. And it's a repetitive message here for you. So this is about speaking your truth, communicating what it is that you feel that you want to say, right? Making sure. And then we've got the setting your course card. So this is about where you're headed, where you're going. And now see this card here. Great sadness that will heal with time. Let go of the past. Personal growth that comes from challenges, healing misunderstandings, and being there for those in need. So somehow there's been a misunderstanding, right? And that's why you need to speak your truth. So there is a possibility, because of the victory card, right? Because of that victory card, that you can heal the relationship. But if not, then it is time to let go of the past. So whether you want to let go of the relationship or you don't, you're definitely going to let go of what has happened in the past. You're going to speak your piece. And it talks about personal growth, but it does talk about sadness that will heal with time. So it does feel like you're releasing something and healing misunderstandings and being there for those in need. So that is definitely looking like you're going to speak your mind. You're going to finally, the victory is being able to say what you think and finally expressing yourself in this relationship. So when we look at the setting your course card along with these, this card talks about, setting a course and broadening your horizons. So it's telling you that there's so many other opportunities out there, like to widen your scope, and look at all the different directions you can go in. In this case, it would be different relationships. But it also talks about, partnering up with people who can help you on your journey. And it does also, you can see the rainbow here. So, happy rainbow skies ahead. Happy skies are out there, happy waters, happy trails. Beautiful other opportunities are out there for you, which means in this case, there's a lot of opportunity for other people who are actually, perhaps a better fit for your life. And it also talks about possible travel or relocation. So in this case, you may go somewhere, you may go on a trip. This may be where you meet this other person or other people to open up your options and look at, all the options that are available to you, and not just limit yourself so much anymore. So that is going to help you heal and release any sadness that you have, as indicated with the previous cards. You will find your victory through speaking your truth and saying what you think, and, speaking up for what you want in a relationship. For goodness sake, you have to let people know what it is that you're looking for or what's wrong, or, things are always going to stay the same. So I do hope that helps you. These cards were rather specific, and I love that because I've integrated the new cards in the new Radley Valentine deck, the Angel Wisdom Tarot. That's this one here. So I've integrated that, and they seem to be meshing really, really nicely with my other cards. So I do hope this helps you, and let me know what you think of the new cards and if any of these resonated with you. So I wish you many blessings, and I do hope that you have a wonderful day.